Warning. This is not your safe space. Move along, now.
Investigators say Jeremy Hayes targets the elderly or the unexpecting. The attacks, all violent, have happened in Guilford and Randolph County.
It's awful. It's really awful. It is, especially when you see elderly people like that they've done, and he was willing enough to give his money up, and then they beat him.
Deputies say the hunt is on for this armed and dangerous suspect, Jeremy Lamar Hayes.
The child went to get his mom, and when they went back to the door, the man shot his mother.
A 911 call was placed early Saturday morning during a small house party. 20-year-old Stephen Lee and 21-year-old Antonio Light are both accused of raping a 15-year-old girl in the basement of a home.
Basically knocked him to the ground and began to pistol whip him.
Why would y'all just kill her and just...
We're still looking into whether anyone else was in the room and witnessed the event or not. I know that there were people scattered at some point about the house, and so certainly there were people that weren't even aware that this did take place.
Police revealed the suspect had 3 felony drug convictions and 2 handgun convictions on his record.
I didn't sleep last night because he stole my son's wallet. He has my address.
It's awful. It's really awful. It's awful. It's really awful. It's awful. It's really awful. It's awful. It's really awful.
Damn!
Now YouTube censored. Now YouTube censored.
I'm mad as hell right now. Yes, I am.
Viewer discretion is advised. Mama Black.
This program contains language and sequences some viewers may find disturbing.
Deputies say the hunt is on for this armed and dangerous suspect, Jeremy Lamar Hayes. Investigators have just identified him as the man accused of posing as a water department worker and attacking an elderly couple. It happened Wednesday in Asheboro on Ingram Drive. Now, the victims say the man pointed a gun at them before assaulting them. The couple's son-in-law says they were both injured. His mother-in-law's skull is severely fractured, and his father-in-law has a broken collarbone and deep cuts in the back of his head. He might even lose his eye.
4 attacks in the triad in just 1 week. Now an all-out manhunt is underway for the man you see right here.
Investigators say Jeremy Hayes targets the elderly or the unexpecting. The attacks, all violent, have happened in Guilford and Randolph counties.
The mother of one of the victims talked with WFMY News 2's Erica Stapleton. We want to warn you, some of what she shared is graphic.
He could have killed my son.
Frances Dorman didn't want to believe people could be this cruel. She says her 21-year-old son was working at this Seagrove rest stop when a man came in and asked for directions. Instead, she says he took her son's wallet and beat him down.
It's awful. It's really awful. It is, especially when you see elderly people like that they've done, and he was willing enough to give his money up, and then they beat him.
Again, police are looking for Jeremy Lamar Hayes. He's also wanted for a second robbery that happened earlier this morning in Ramseur. Now, during that robbery, one person was shot and another injured. Deputies believe Hayes is with Kennedy Boggs, that the two might be driving a 2014 silver or gray Honda Civic with damage to the front right passenger bumper. If you see them, please call 911.
Basically knocked him to the ground and began to pistol whip him.
Investigators think it was this man, Jeremy Hayes. He's wanted in several attacks within the past week, 2 of them on elderly couples.
I actually feel extreme pain, especially for the elderly. They are the elderly. How can they fight back?
Her son didn't have a chance either. He's recovering with 35 stitches and 42 staples.
The doctor said in his 17 years of doing stitches and sutures, he had never put that many staples and sutures in one victim.
It gets worse.
I'm terrified. I didn't sleep last night because he stole my son's wallet. He has my address. He knows where we live. What's to stop him from coming and finishing what he started?
With the fear comes the anger, but she also realizes she has to be grateful.
God had his hands on my son, because Jeremy Hayes could have killed my son. But thank God he didn't.
Well, investigators say Jeremy Hayes has done this before. He was arrested last fall after he was caught for 2 other robbery cases in Randolph County, both involving elderly victims. As for the victim from the rest stop, his mother says he's going to make a full recovery.
You know of racism, but I never been face to face with it. And when I went to get a product that I use and saw I couldn't reach it. I couldn't touch it. I couldn't read the ingredients. You know, I was put into a box.
I am here at the supposedly friendly Walmart at the local hair store. And as you can see, I have a worker here who's supposed to be helping me unlock the African American hair products. As you can see, they're all locked up all the way down. Even the hair dye is locked up. But you come around the corner, and guess what? None of the Caucasian products are locked up at all. This is racial profiling at its house. We have got to contact the news about this. I want you guys to not shop here until they unlock the African American products, unless they're going to lock up all hair products. This is not fair, it's not right, and we will not stand for this. None of the Caucasian products are locked up, as you can see. None of them. They're all free to take. So, just so you guys know, Walmart is racial profiling.
2 men are behind bars accused of sexually assaulting a 15-year-old in Delhi. You can see those men right here behind me. Police say this happened at a party last night. Fox 19 Now's Frankie Jupiter is live right now. He talked with authorities about this. Frankie?
That's right. You know, those 2 men are being held right behind me here at the Justice Center. They're set to see a judge in the morning. A 911 call was placed early Saturday morning during a small house party. 20-year-old Stephen Lee and 21-year-old Antonio Light are both accused of raping a 15-year-old girl in the basement of a home. It happened in the 300 block of Anderson Ferry Road early Saturday morning. Authorities say the 2 men are cousins and that they raped the teen who they are not related to, one right after the other.
It's a sad situation. Obviously, alcohol and youth are not a good combination to begin with. Sad that the victim, who did not deserve any of this, was put in this position and taken advantage of.
There were 3 minor females, along with Lee, Light, and another 18-year-old male in attendance at this party. Hamilton County Dispatch took a 911 call from a girl who said her friend sent her a Snapchat from the party. Authorities say there is still an investigation underway to see who was in the basement at the time of the alleged incident.
We're still looking into whether anyone else was in the room and witnessed the event or not. I know that there were people scattered about the house, and so certainly there were people that weren't even aware that this did take place.
Now, Lee is also being charged with an additional assault charge. He also has a separate pending case involving a sex crime with a minor. Reporting live from downtown, Frankie Jupiter, Fox 19.
LaShonda Myers' 10-year-old son told family members that he answered the door Wednesday night and there was a stranger asking for someone, although they don't know who he was asking for. The child went to get his mom, and when they went back to the door, the man shot his mother. The boy says he ran upstairs to hide in the bathroom, peeking under the door as he called 911 to see if the man was coming to get him, too.
This child is shaken. He's traumatized. He's walking through the house saying, I can't hear. Something's wrong with my ears. Those gunshots. That shook me to my core. No child should have to experience anything like that.
They knew he was there. He answered the door. Why would y'all just kill her and just... Why her son there? I don't understand that one. Her son there.
LaShonda Myers' family says she was quite accomplished. She graduated from Northeast High School and went on to Job Corps, where she studied culinary arts. From there, Myers became a pharmacy tech and worked as a CNA at Myers Nursing and Convalescent Center in Kansas City. Her biggest accomplishment, says Myers' family, is her 2 children. They were the center of her life. Now, as you know, that little boy saw his mom killed, and something that the family says would create a little bit of comfort for all of them is that they could find the person who did that. So if you have any information, please call the TIPS hotline at 474-TIPS. There is a reward, and all calls are anonymous.
This happened last night in northwest Baltimore. It began with a traffic stop and ended with this fatal encounter on Gwynns Falls Parkway. Police stopped 33-year-old Billy Lewis Rucker for a traffic violation, and the suspect floors his vehicle, and takes off. The city police helicopter tracks it for several miles in northwest Baltimore before the suspect exits from the car, as you see here. A foot chase begins around Elsinore and Gwynns Falls Parkway, and police say body camera footage shows the individual running with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officer's body-worn camera captures his efforts to get the suspect to stop running. Police say the footage shows a muzzle flash from the gun before the officer fired his service weapon. Police revealed the suspect had 3 felony drug convictions and 2 handgun convictions on his record.
There are multiple opportunities in this scenario for him to surrender, him to give up. And we saw him take off from his vehicle, and then we saw him take off again on foot. And it was a point that I guess he wasn't going back to jail. And we're just fortunate that no innocent people were injured in this scenario.
The suspect died at the hospital. The Baltimore police officer involved has been on the force for 6 years. As is routine, he has been placed on leave. Live in the studio, Deborah Weiner, WBAL TV.
And as always, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. Also follow us on the usual media for more interesting information like this.
Fight their asses.